In this video, we take a look at the top 10 strategy games for 2022. Starship Troopers Terran Command is a recently released real-time strategy game packed with impressive gameplay. In general, the story and plot are still the same as the novel or film version. You will control the human army to face a swarm of arachnids, aka alien insects that are brutal and vicious. The gameplay will be similar to the RTS game and tower defense combined. You'll be able to add units strategically while fighting tons of waves of enemies. You can also adjust and improve the tech tree that is generally in the RTS genre here. Starting from assault rifle, infantry to power armor, as well as the mobile suits will help your soldiers to survive the attacks of these insect-shaped aliens. The Arachnid Horde also consists of various classes. Warrior bugs, for example, have the most number and high fighting power. Starship Troopers Terran Command just released on Steam and got very positive response. Songs of Conquest is a turn-based strategy game inspired by 90s classics. For those of you fans of games like Heroes of Might and Magic and Age of Wonders, you will definitely like this game, which has almost the same foundation. You will be able to use a wielder, a powerful wizard who walks up and down the fantasy world, join the fight and build your empire. Your kingdom must compete against 4 factions, each with its own unique roster of units, biomes and aesthetics, along with story missions which can also be played in local and online multiplayer. One of the things I like the most is the very easy to use in-game map editor that lets you create your own missions. With the editing tools, you can manage in-game events, write dialogue and even control the soundtrack. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe and share the video. Heart West 2 is a turn-based strategy game that takes the player into a supernatural view in the Wild West. The player is tasked with leading a group of train robbers. Along the way, they follow the legend of the ghost train and meet a demon named Mammon. This game itself actually has a fairly simple gameplay. There are not many features in the game and the objectives given to each scenario are not complicated either. However, its main advantage lies in turn-based combat with easy to understand mechanics and several different scenarios that can be played. The scenario is seen from the point of view of several characters who participate in solving the mystery there, so you will find high replayability for this game. Total War Warhammer III is a turn-based strategy and real-time tactics video game set in a medieval fantasy story which presents several factions or nations. Every turn you will make various decisions. You will manage various things at once, for example, such as managing finances, recruiting troops, to cooperating or want to go to war with other factions. In this third series, there are 8 factions to choose from, with Kislev as the main faction. One thing that is unique and different from the previous series is the objective of the campaign mode, which is the same for each faction. This objective or mission has a limited time because the enemy will do the same. This makes the campaign mode more competitive, which means players can no longer relax using the time to upgrade their troops or finances. Dune Spice Wars is a 4X grand strategy game developed with the real-time strategy formula. This game takes the setting of universe Dune, which is sci-fi novel made by Frank Herbert. Like RTS games in general, you will be required to form troops to dominate the battle area controlled by the enemy. You must lead your faction and battle to control and dominate the harsh desert planet of Arrakis. Play as one of several factions, including House Atreides, House Harkonnen, the Smugglers, and the original Freemen, and compete for power over the Dune and spies. Players need to balance military power, political influence, and resources in order to achieve victory. What's more, players also need to think of strategy to exploit the weaknesses of each enemy with the surrounding environment to diplomacy between factions. This game has just been released in early access on PC. Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters is a turn-based tactical strategy game. Players will lead the legendary Grey Knights to fight against the forces of Chaos as they battle against a galactic sprawling plot to infect the world with plague. Use firepower, melee weapons, psychic abilities, and the environment itself to destroy the full power of the Nurgle. For fans of squad-based tactics games, this game is a must-have. You will spend hours destroying enemies and getting a great game experience. Terra Invicta is a real-time single-player grand strategy game where the Earth will be invaded by aliens. Unlike other grand strategy space games where the Earth has united to become a world government, in Terra Invicta, players must control the country and fight with other factions. The player can choose one of the 7 playable factions. Each of these factions has their own style of play and attitude towards aliens. The fight with all factions is not only on Earth, the fight can reach outer space. In outer space, the player colonizes the solar system while battling other factions as well as aliens who want to invade Earth. The Wandering Village is an economic strategy game. Here players will join a world where mysterious plants are scattered all over the world. With the release of toxic spores as they grow, this has caused humans to seek new sources of shelter. The answer is that behind the lost giant creatures they call Anbu, we will be the leader of this human group. We have to build shelter, build relationships with giant creatures, and survive various dangers in this crumbling world. Also remember to take care of the health of Anbu, this giant creature, to make sure it walks away from the spores, and hope that someday it will reach a completely safe place. Expeditions Rome is a tactical RPG with strategy elements. Just like other RPGs, players will be given the freedom to modify characters, such as determining the character, model, gender, class, skills, and others. The journey of the players here will experience so many challenges. Not only are they required to be good at implementing war strategies, the players must also master the economy and social life in order to get sympathy from soldiers, people, and enemies. Players will also be faced with so many choices in the narrative. Each narrative choice taken will have an impact on the storyline and the overall plot. The loot, craft, and equipment system makes this game thick with action RPGs. Crusader Kings III is a grand strategy role-playing game that was recently released on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation on March 29, 2022. Although it had previously been released on PC since September 1, 2020. What makes this game unique is players are expected to be able to make wise decisions because the fate of the kingdom is really in their hands, from managing territory, development to government. This game puts the player as the king with various decisions that will have an impact on the kingdom. But what sets Crusader Kings III apart from the previous Crusader series is that the game maps are about 4 times more detailed than those in Crusader Kings II and slightly larger because the game combines Europe, Africa roughly as far south as the equator, and Asia as far east as Tibet. In which games are you really interested? Please put your thoughts in the comments down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video. Goodbye.